with my main man, captain of the Chicago Black Sox, Mr. Joe Greenberg. Joe G.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Thank you for agreeing to come on. I mean, it's been a rough week in Chicago. Fans are showing up with like the paper bags over their heads.
Don't tell me that.
This is not what Chicago fans were expecting. I mean, 2-6. You're coming off a crushing week right here, Memorial 1. Take us through it in your eyes, first of all, and then I got some tough questions for you.
Okay, so through my eyes, last 3 games, very easily from 2-6 to 5-3. We had a lead entering the 7th inning in our last 3 games, and to go 0-3 in those 3 games, it's unprecedented in my career. Never heard it in the YMSL before, but that's the difference. They say the hardest thing to do in sports is close it out, and that's the biggest trouble that we're having right now at the moment.
Why do you think that's becoming a problem for you? You have some winners on your team. I mean, you got Henry on your team, you got you on your team, you got Bub on your team, you got people that have won World Series. Jake.
Every guy on my
team. People that
team,
have been at every level.
Every guy on my team has won a World Series besides from Matu. So
Are you
11
serious?
out of 12 guys on my team have won a World Series.
Wow. So why can't you close with that group of guys? You pick guys that have won World Series.
So 2 weeks ago against Beast Mode, Game 2, a little bit my fault. I think I made a little bit of an error. I didn't really get in front of the ball, so I ended up scoring a run to tie the game. Then in last week, I don't know. I really don't know. I can't put something exact on it. I really don't know why we're not able to close out the games. I really can't tell you.
How is Jeffrey doing on the mound?
Jeffrey is really pitching very well. I think, according to his stats, since week 1, get week 1 out of the picture, I think he has the second or the lowest batting average against since week 1.
So Jeff El Jefe is not the problem.
No, he's not the problem. And I feel bad because we're not really playing well behind him.
You're not playing. Is it an offensive issue, a defensive issue?
It's both.
It's both.
Defense, we're playing well the whole game, and then in the important situations, we make a boneheaded play. As captain, my responsibility. Everyone's got to know what they got to do, and that's my fault. I'll take the blame for that.
I gotta say, it's not like you've been afraid to mix it up. You drafted Jake. You said he's gonna go for shortstop. You drafted AB pitcher, you made a trade for him. You moved Jake out to the outfield. It's not like you're afraid you changed the lineup a couple times. So it's not like you're afraid to do it, but what are you gonna do going from here that is gonna right this ship? Because you're still right in it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's 6 teams that get in. You're 2-6, you're a game behind beast mode.
I'm a sweep right out of it.
That's it.
Week 1, what I noticed, no communication in the infield. Killed us. A lot of ground balls going through, and it gave Moshiach a lot of confidence. That was week 1. So I decided to, move myself from center field, go into the infield, and play short center. To me, I think it worked well week 2, week 3, week 4, but the results are not being shown. So at a point, over a 3-game span, we were 2 out of 3. I thought we were peaking, and then we crashed big time.
Mm-hmm.
So this week, we're definitely going to make another change. I'm going to go back to the outfield.
Wow.
Yes.
Where?
Center field.
You're going back to center. Jake is
left.
Going to left.
And Bub's going to stay in right.
So Ruby's coming in.
Ruby's going to be coming in.
Does Ruby know this yet?
Ruby knows this.
Okay, where is Ruby going?
So that is still
TBA.
Yeah, to be determined, really.
Okay, so Ruby's got a great arm.
Yes.
But he's not a bad fielder by any stretch. I think he's an average left fielder.
Just not really the best baseball IQ.
Mm-hmm.
He's a very good player. He's probably arguably one of the best hitters in the league. I think he's better hitter than me. Top 3, top 5 hitters in the league, hands down. Defensively, that's where it's a little bit of a question. He makes a lot of plays, but then the important plays, he's
batting 600. That's why you draft Ruby Shalou.
Slugging 1,000 also.
Slugging 1,000. He's up there. He's got to be up there in the RBI leaders because this week alone he cleared the bases a couple of times.
I think he's second.
So he's second behind Nanu, and we'll get to Nanu in a second. Yeah. But okay, fine. So how'd Ruby handle this? Because I know he takes pride that he's a good left fielder.
So it had nothing to do with him. I told him myself, I want to move back to the outfield. It's me being selfish. I think it's better for the team. And at the point, 2-6, There's no selfishness anymore. It's everyone's got to play for the team. We all wait 6-7 months out of the year waiting to play YMSL. We're waiting for that NRJ text every single year. Guys, January 17th, January 18th, around that time, guys, sign up. It's ready for the YMSL. So you got to think about the other 11 besides for yourself on the team. And
Right.
at the end of the day, we all want to play in the middle of July. We all want to be playing in front of 500-600 people on a Friday. Game 3, Game 4, Game 5.
It's
That's
coming.
what we want.
It's coming soon, baby.
It's coming soon, and hopefully I'm there. But
You know what? It's funny. After all the rain that we had, knock on wood, I don't want to say anything, but like we're in a good run right now.
We really
We're in
are.
a good run right now, and you're right. You owe it to your team. You can't do what Portland did and say, I'm not drafting a pitcher and screw the other 11 guys. I just want to have fun and see what happens and roll the dice. You got to figure it out in Chicago and figure out how to make this work. So you're going to left. Bub
Center.
You're going to center. Jake's going to left. Bub's staying in right.
Yes, sir.
What are we doing on the infield? Because short center now has who's going to be your short center?
It's
Toot?
either
Fool?
it's either going to be Ruby Shalou or
Okay.
Toot, depending on what they're going to do.
Okay.
Hank, what I've noticed from week 1 to right now, Hank was a mistake. I should have put him at shortstop in the beginning. The way he communicates, the way he takes control of that infield, even when I was in short center, and I think I have a very high IQ in baseball, still positioning me, telling me, helping me out, and if he's able to help me out, I'm telling you he'll be able to help anybody out.
Yeah.
Mo Mal has been playing really well at third base, defensively, offensively, different
Totally different
question.
story. Yeah.
Made a couple of errors last week, but I think he probably has less than 2 or 3 errors the whole season. Saul, lockdown.
Lockdown at second.
Yeah, and then we have a new catcher this week also, and El Jefe on the mound.
So is Abdo out for the year?
Abdo is out for the year.
Abdo's out for the year. So you're picking up Mo Mala's brother,
Yes.
Nathan Mallow,
Yes.
but he can't bat. He can only catch and run.
Yes.
Okay, fine.
Unless we have.
Unless you have 10 or
Yes,
less.
correct.
And there's going to be no funny business coming from Joe G's
Of course
camp
not.
ever. So, okay, fine. So now at catcher this year, you've had Abdo, you've had Toot, you've had Ike Espetesh, and now you're going to have your 4th catcher
Nathan Mallow.
going into week 5.
Straight out of our single A affiliate.
Now, one position you didn't talk about is first base.
Yes.
Because you've had Raw there, and then I noticed you put in Toot this week. What is your plan at first base going forward?
So again, everything's to be determined. We really got to see how the rest of the infield shakes up. Right now, not really sure what to answer. It really depends on what happens if the Ruby at short center or Toot at short center. So I can't really give you an answer. So Ruby is going to be playing in a game. Today's Wednesday, a game tonight.
Okay.
In Brooklyn, in one of those Tahina League games. He's going to see if he's able to hack it in short center. If not, then, Ruby's going to probably play like a Giancarlo Stanton role on this team.
You know what? Ruby's a team guy, though. I've gotten to know him a lot better over the years, and I really respect his game a lot more than I used to. I used to knock him a lot just for swinging at 3-0 one time. You can't judge somebody on one at bat. Over the years, like with Mo Money last year and everything, so I think he'll do whatever you need him to do.
He's for sure on board.
I like that you sent him down to AAA for a spot start, see if he could handle short center or whatever. Maybe he plays first, but I do know my main man, Raw, who's also your main man.
Yeah.
Even though you're upset at each other right now, that's clear. I do know you and him went at it in between games last week.
Yeah, just
You
a little.
want to take us into the Greenberg dinner table. What's going on between you and Raw? Also, I do notice you kicked your mother, my main woman, Vicky G. You told her, get out of here, you bad luck. So tell us what's going on at the Greenberg camp, because you guys are like the tightest family I know. So what's happening?
All right, so Eric, we're brothers. We fight, got a little heated, took out a little bit of his anger on me. It's fine, I can take it. It's all good. But again, going back to the other 11 guys on the team, you got to act like a team. You can't be selfish here. So now, everyone wants to play softball in July. Again, I'm just going to reiterate. You can't be selfish. You got to play as a team. Me blaming my mother, just a little bit upset. It's just that every time we're winning, and then they walk in, and then it goes all the way downhill. 2 weeks ago, beast mode. Jake DeWeck's up. My mom strolls right in. Jake DeWeck hits a ground ball. I'm up. I can't come through. We end up losing because Yogi's foot's off the plate and whatever. And And now we're winning game 1, up 7-5. I see my mom and my dad stroll right in, right over there. I don't know what happened. Then we lose 8-7.
I will remind you that you won the World Series on the White Walkers.
With them as fan of the year.
And they were fans of the year. I
Yep.
don't think they missed a pitch or an inning. So I will give you the oppo now to apologize to Vicky Greenberg
I'm sorry, Mom.
and my main man, Elliot Greenberg,
Sorry, Dad.
who has changed sports in this community. That man has changed sports in this community.
Yes.
I mean, he's been teaching my mother how to play tennis for at least 40 years now.
My dad is 65 right now. He's been teaching since he's 14 in this community, so 51 years.
Okay, now that we got that out of the way, I mean, your team, like you said, you clearly have a message for your team.
Yes.
Everyone's got to do what they got to do. You're going back to center, so you know you're shaking things up. I'm looking at some numbers here that are. So, you know what? I'm going to start with the positive.
Okay.
You do have some positives. Not all is lost. Joe G batting 500, slugging 846. Beautiful. Jake 455. That's up. He started
Yes.
bad. He started really bad. So the last maybe week or two, I guess he's hitting
It's an
better.
uptick, yep.
Slugging 682. That's not good enough for Jake, but he's on the uptick. Bub batting 519. Excellent. Slugging
So
532. Got to do a little bit better on the slugging. Maybe another double or triple here and there because he's capable of that. But batting 500
Amazing.
and up in the leadoff spot. Ruby Shalou batting 600, slugging 1,000.
Averages a double every time he comes up to the plate, like you said last year. It's
Yeah.
the most insane thing.
It's insane. And then Henry is playing a great shortstop. He's batting 435, which is exactly what you want from him, and slugging 532, throwing in a double here or there, but mostly a singles hitter at this point, and very, very clutch. So that is not the top 5 of a 2-6 team. Unless something is going completely off a cliff from 6 through 10, and I've never seen numbers like this, Joe. You are giving away 3 to 4 innings a game.
I know.
You can't beat teams if you're only batting 3 times and they're batting 7 times.
And not only that, it's putting pressure on the top of our lineup to come through also.
It's ridiculous. Jeffrey 0 for 1, okay, whatever, or 0 for 2, or whatever he is. Ike S. Batesh batting 0 in limited at-bats or full at-bats?
Limited at-bats. He's 0 for 7 week 1, and he hasn't picked up a bat since then.
0 for 7 week 1, hasn't picked up a bat. That means you have to field him.
But he's going to be batting this week.
Okay. You know what? He could hit the bomb here and there, but
Yeah.
he can't go 0 for 7. He can't even go 1 for 7. Go 2 for 7.
2 for 7.
Go 2 for 7.
I'll take if you go 1 for 3 every game.
That's all.
If you're the 7 through 10 guys on our team, that we're not asking you to go 4 for 6. We're asking you to go 1 for 3 every game. You can't go 0 for in a game. That's one of my most important things. Throughout the league, especially for my team, I don't like to go 0 for. You could have a day where you go, 4 for 6, but if you go 0 for 2 one game and then 4 for the next game, to me it's nice, but you know what? You didn't contribute one game. You only played half a game. You only played half a series.
Yeah, you got to at least draw a walk, get on, hit a ball hard, and someone's going to get it off their glove or
Yeah.
something like that. Okay, fine. Ralph Toot Matute Greenberg. Greenstein. Sorry. 200. He's not a 200 hitter, this guy.
He was a 500 hitter since I came into the league with
Yeah.
Butter, with
The
the
ones
ones
who
who
knock.
knock. Yeah, had a big hit on that Tuesday game.
Yeah.
So he's definitely a very good hitter. I'll say I'm sorry to it. This is probably my fault because you're that type of guy who likes to get involved, and that's my fault. So it's very hard to sit on the bench when you're not used to it, come up to the plate, and get hits. Very tough. I'll take the blame as captain for
I mean,
that 200
Toot's not
average.
the great. He's not a Gold Glove best fielder ever, but he's not either. He's also not a 2-game DH either.
Yes.
So I think we agree on that one. So hopefully you get him more involved now. The biggest one,
biggest
Mo
one.
Mala, drafted in the 20s, batting
28th pick.
28th pick, batting 200. I don't care if he's Brooks Robinson at third base.
Yeah.
He can't be batting 200. I mean, that's the biggest. I think opening day he was batting cleanup or fifth for you. That's got to be the biggest disappointment of the year so far.
Like we said before off camera, Mo Mala in this league on NWO, one of the greatest teams to ever win a championship, batted third. Was my protection. Stevie Shalou batted 1, I batted 2, Mo Mala batted 3.
Wow.
And now to go from batting 3, people were saying he should be Rookie of the Year over me that year. So legit, real player. Fully focused, has a baby, lives in Deal. So I thought I was going to get the best version of Mo.
Mo Mala lives in Deal?
Lives in Deal.
When did he move to Deal? I didn't
Moved
know
to
that.
Deal a couple of years ago.
Really? I never
Yeah.
knew that. So he should have been playing for a couple of years already.
Yeah, but his wife was pregnant last year, so probably that's why not.
Okay.
But settled down, focused, not on hockey, but I don't know what's going on. Maybe too much in his head, maybe too pull happy. Craziest thing, he's arguably one of the greatest baseball players in this community, one of the best talents I know. And for him to bat 200,
I know he was still playing baseball. Was that still going
still
on?
Plays. He plays throughout the year.
So it makes no sense now. I think you nailed it. He's way too pull happy. I was looking at some videos, fouling balls off over there, and then he's grounding out to third. There's a whole field over here. He's got to make the adjustment.
And the craziest thing in baseball is power is to right center.
I guess
insane.
baseball is faster or something, but the softball should be so slow to him that he should be able to put the ball exactly where he wants.
He did that in his last at bat. He hit a shot to right center, and then Hank Shalom ended up getting thrown out at the plate, which ended up being a costly run.
Yeah.
And then we ended up getting not walked off, but we ended up losing the game too. But
the Hank one was the one that was out by a nice wide
4 or 5
margin.
feet, yeah.
Unlike the other one, Zach made a ridiculous play. I mean, how do you throw a ball when you're facing that way?
Turned around, one motion.
Throws a strike.
A dart.
It's crazy. That was one of the greatest plays I've ever seen.
Got to give credit to the 6'1", great 6'1".
Great 6'1" with the tags.
But the way he positioned himself on the plate, didn't let Bubby go around him, made him go to the inside part of the plate.
And Bub slid to the inside of the plate
because he had to, because Jigga took off the outside. And everyone was saying, oh, why wasn't there anyone? It didn't matter. He couldn't go to the outside because of the way that Jigga positioned himself.
Exactly. So Jigga pushed him there.
He
went there, but he still got the tag. I'm assuming he tagged him. I can't tell from the video. But
it was a good play.
It was a great play.
No complaints.
So that was a good send. But the one for Henry, he was out. Jigga was just waiting there with the ball.
Man on second and third with one out. You can't. That's not acceptable.
Yeah. Saul Towell batting 208. I mean, Saul's not a great hitter by any stretch of the imagination, but 208 is not acceptable for anyone in softball.
I got to defend Saul a little. He's been hitting the ball really hard.
He hit one to third this week. Mocas caught it. I mean, you guys also are having some tough luck on the field. You're getting good luck that you played beast mode without Stephen Gindy and you played shake and bake without Nate B. You can't get luckier than that. But then when you step on the field, Saul, Aharon hits a ball 8 feet. It spins. He's safe. Zach comes up. He hits one over there. Ruby doesn't get it. Boom, they win. On the other hand, Saul hits a ball 1,000 miles an hour. That's a double down the left field line to lead off your bottom of the seventh. And Mocas catches it. His glove is here. He catches it over here.
Yeah, snow cone.
I mean,
it's angels in the outfield.
It's crazy.
It's like you said. It's the type of season that we're having. It's all the unlucky breaks that we're having. But you know what? When we're at the bottom, there's only one way up. If you remember week 1, Mo Haber made a full-out diving play in the hole against us. You remember that?
Yeah.
Elliot Saka making a crazy play in the gap. So it's not only this week. It's insane that we're getting so many unlucky breaks, but I'm not going to sound like a loser.
Right.
And I'm not going to just complain and say, it's all the unlucky breaks. You got to look in the mirror and you got to point a finger at yourself and say, you know what? It's my fault as captain. I screwed up. And thank God we're still in it. And there's only one way up. There's only one way to go, and it's only up from here.
Raw Dog, 154. No bigger fan of Raw Dog than me. I've seen him hit triples, home runs, doubles, big singles, clutch hits. He has a lot of clutch hits. I don't know what he bats. You tell me what he normally bats. He bats 300?
290, 300 usually.
290 to 300. So he's never going to win the batting title. We get that. But Raw Dog has come through in big spots, and then he pounds his chest, and he howls and everything.
He's got the clutch gene. He's very clutch. He's got ice in his veins.
So 154 is not acceptable from Raw.
No, it's not. He's not batting his body weight. It's crazy. It's crazy to say, but you know what, Raw, you got to step it up, kid. There's a reason why I drafted you. There's a reason why I put you in in the 7th spot in our lineup, because when there's ducks on the pond, when there's 2 outs, man on first and third, that's usually when you come through. That's where you thrive. And for you not to thrive, for you not to be in it at the moment is, it's killing me, it's killing the team. So everyone's got to step up, especially you.
Jeffrey Saka has made it a habit to pitch on the last day of the season until around 4 o'clock. That happens every year. He's somehow in that 6-7 game. If we do the other format, there's a 4-way tie. He manages to have that tie-break game. He did it with Los Caballos, except that tie-break game was on a Friday.
Yep.
He did it with Time. They lost in the tie-break game. He did it with Mean Machine. I think every year since I've taken over the league, he's in that game. You guys are like primed for that position, it seems. And you'll sign to that,
I'll sign for it right now on the title line.
You'll sign to play till 4 p.m. on Father's Day or whatever it is. But I think you're in, believe it or not, you're in a decent position because 6 teams make it. Portland is not in a good spot right now. Even though they have good bats, they're not a bad team, but they just can't hit. Their run differential is negative a million, which is crazy.
You can't have MC batting 200. So.
Exactly. So they got their own problems. Beast Mode, who's 3-5, is ravaged by injuries. Ralph Hannon can't pick up his left hand to catch the ball.
Crazy.
This guy, I love Ralph Hannon. I mean, he's Sadiq. I donated a kidney, so he's in a different level, you know? He was catching the ball from his catcher with his bare hand. He couldn't even pick up his glove to catch it.
I saw he was like this in the video, like
exactly like this. Joseph Ferrati had to come in. He did a decent job pitching, but it was like too little too late against that, Brew Crew team. But they have major issues injury-wise. They're probably going to have to get replacements at this point.
Stephen Gindy, first of all, once I found out it was his thumb 2 weeks ago, after the season, thumb is a 3 to 4 month injury, easily. There's so many ligaments in your thumb, which end up causing everything in your wrist. So, like, it's your pinky, middle finger, okay, you can live with. Your thumb, it's your thumb, it's your whole hand. Can't live without your thumb, especially, what was his right hand?
I think it's his
glove hand?
I think it's his glove hand.
Even worse.
So, I mean, but if he's going to be replaced now, he really hurt Beast Mode by not getting replaced 2 weeks ago. You did this once with DX, and they replaced you with MC.
Yes.
But did you cost them a week or 2? You took a week, which I think is fair. I don't think you waited.
So that was COVID year, July 3rd and July 5th opening day. So
yes,
swimming opened up on July 3rd, which was a Friday.
Correct.
July 5th was Sunday. That was when I was playing the 1-2 knock. I got injured on July 4th. I went to my boss's house to play tennis and basketball as a fake game. Fell down on someone's ankle, and I ended up tearing 3 ligaments in my ankle. Thought I was going to be fine. I knew I was out the next day. Told Max that night, I'm out, but give me a couple of days. I'm going to the doctor this week. I went to the doctor a few days later, and I knew, all right, I'm out. I ended up missing 2 weeks because they played swimming week 2, and that's when I turned to Steven Batesh, and I'm like, wow, your team is magical. They ended up going 12-2. And
you knew it early.
I knew it. I told him on camera. I don't know if it's on camera, but I said, you guys have everything. The gas, you have the
gas.
Whatever, yeah.
What do you think of Shake and Bake with the gas and all that? They seem to have the right formula this year again. A lot of the same guys. Zach. Jigga. It might only be them, actually.
Jacob Cohen. I'll tell you something crazy. Aharon Cohen, Jigga, Jacob Cohen. Three leaders on that team in batting average. Not even Zach.
It's crazy, isn't it?
It's crazy. Jacob Cohen. I never thought this. I haven't seen him play softball. Came up this week. I'm like, all right, this guy's just another 8-hitter.
That's it.
Probably going to go 0-for-6. Guy's rocking the ball. Foul ball, making Jeffrey work. And then also Ronnie Roland Towel.
He got enough play already.
Arguably my favorite player in this league.
And he beat you bad this week. He's saying that. I mean,
once I noticed how much I love this kid. The kid has really ice in his veins. 0-2 count, huge situation. I think I wrote this in the captain shot. Kid's laughing in the batter's box. Usually in 10th round pick, 11th, 12th round pick, you can smell the duty coming off there. He's smiling down 0-2, fouling off 11, 12 pitches. And he's facing off against Jeffrey Saka, the ability to strike out Farka, the ability to strike out anyone in this league. And he's just smiling and so cool, calm, and collected. And then after we move Saul to no man's land, shoots it down the other way.
And Jeffrey threw him the kitchen sink. He did a quick pitch. He did the one that hits him in the ankle. We've all been in the batter's box against Jeffrey. He did it all. He did the high one. And then he was pounding the zone as well. And he just kept fouling him off. And like you said, then he poked one down the right field line, which is just hilarious. He's not phased in this league for 2 reasons. Number one, he's entered as a rookie, and he's playing next to Zach and Jigga and all these guys that just make it easy and fun for you. There's no real pressure on that team, and they got off to a very good start. And number two, he's been scorekeeping in this league from 5 years ago, from the White Walkers year. He was the scorekeeper in the White Walkers World Series. You see him on the videos. His voice is like a little girly voice, like a little baby in those days.
He's like this tall also.
He's this tall. Yeah. And like, he's seen it all. He's seen Saban erupt. He's seen fights on the thing. He's seen ejections. He's not fazed by anything. He's coming in here. He knows what to expect. So great job for him. Shake and Bake. What do you think of the teams you've played so far? I was looking at your you played Moshiach opening day. They torched you 17-7, 10-2. But I sort of think you guys were not alive yet.
No one was alive. It was again, me as captain, my fault. But It's the middle of Passover. Everyone probably gained 15 pounds. I know Cheetos gained 35 pounds
Yes.
over the holiday. But, I guarantee, besides from me and a couple other people, no one picked up a bat.
Right.
And it's tough. Half my team was in Florida. They changed their flights to come back. So it was very tough. And Jeff actually hurt his back before that game. So for like 2-3 weeks, he didn't pitch because he had a really bad back injury. Now he's pitching like El Jefe from the Caballos of last year. But
El Jefe likes to pitch regularly. He's
Yeah.
better, even though he's older, he's better when he's pitching more. I don't know why. That's the way he is. You played Biblical week 2. You split with them. What do you think of that team, T.I.?
if they did not have Jake Braha and David Harari, this would probably be one of the worst teams I've ever seen.
Jake Braha became a great player.
Great player.
Maybe he was always great and we just didn't know.
See it, yeah. Because he was overshadowed by Mark. Crazy.
Yeah. But this guy at third makes every play. He comes up, he's got power.
And he's clutch.
He's
Comes
clutch.
up with 2 outs and hits gap to gap, and he's clutch. He really is.
And his personality is just quiet. He could hit like a walk-off grand slam. You wouldn't know it unless you ask him, Jake, how'd you guys score? He goes, I hit a home run. He just stays stoic, on the side. I guess he's just
because he's a star in basketball also, so he's used to it.
You could tell he's a great athlete
Yeah.
that's just doing his thing. The first year, okay, he was good. He wasn't great, but now he's used to the whole YMSL thing. And he really is becoming a great third baseman.
That was the savior pick right there. Jake Braha and David Harari for that team.
I know, and Harari, I've always given Harari a tough time. Not my type of player because I don't love his glove. I don't love his arm. He's not great at throwing the ball.
Yeah.
And then he just seems to be a fly out every time. This year he's not flying out. He is smoking the ball.
Left
that ball
center.
is flying. Left center, right field line still if he wants to go with his power. I mean, and the ball is exploding off the bat. But you said could be one of the worst teams you've ever seen.
Yeah.
At 4-4. Do you care to elaborate on that?
So Alan Jamal, third round. It was third round. I played with AJ in the summer league. Kid is arguably probably one of the best defensive outfielders, on par with ABJ, on par with me. Really amazing. Offensively, different story. If he's hot, he's hot. He could bat 400, but it all depends if he's hot. And you can't expect a kid like that to be hot out of the gate in their rookie year. Hasn't faced most of these pitchers in the league. Probably never faced Nabi, probably never faced Jeff Sack. So it's very tough to come into the league as a third round pick, expecting a lot, putting you in the leadoff position and not performing. And
why do it anyway? If his ceiling, like you said, if he's hot, he's 400. But his whole benefit is that he's a great center fielder.
Yeah.
But you're on a team that already had Farka at the time and JT.
Yeah.
And you're gonna put him in right.
Luxury
What
pick.
is the point of that pick for you? I get it. He's great for a team that needs a center fielder. Fine.
I had like a fifth or sixth round draft grade on him because I knew he wasn't playing center field for most teams. So as a corner outfielder, if you're not like a automatic like 500 hitter, you're not really a third or fourth round pick. You're
Right.
more of a 5th to 6th round pick because at that point you're really a luxury. If the team that drafted you picked their 4 best players available, they're all like 4 hitters. So if he's on the team with like Nathan Zalta, Jimmy Malach, Gabe Abadi, and then he's playing center field, well, I'll take him in the 5th round. I don't mind that. But on the team where you have JT and now you have Marty, which was Fark at the time, doesn't really make sense.
Doesn't
Teddy,
make sense
don't
to
kill
me
me for this. I don't want the text messages, but it's just really how I see it. Again, you don't have to value my opinion. I'm 2-6, but that's just how I see it.
What do you think of the Teddy Ishak text to us every morning in the captain's chat?
Good morning.
Good morning. Have a blessed day, which is something the Abid mostly say. Have a blessed day,
Yeah,
Like,
have a blessed day.
have a blessed day. Like when they call you, like maybe you don't have these issues, but when they call me to pay my electric bill, and then I give them the credit card over the phone or the bank account, they tell me, "All right, sir, and have a blessed day." That's the vibe I'm getting from Ishak. But you think he can handle this going forward? He's 4-4 now. He's, probably going to be in the playoffs, barring an issue. He's played shorthanded. He's surprising me. I guess I'm mostly surprised that they're winning games because I did not like that team at all. They looked very offensively challenged to me. Does he have what it takes to get to the promised land or not at all?
I don't think the promised land, definitely playoffs. He's in the right position right now, 4-4, and big sign of life for them. They were down 2 guys this week at least. They were down David Harari and
Alan.
Jamal. They had Cheetos in right,
Crazy.
Ruby Shahabar first, Ruby made a couple of errors at first, and they still managed to split. So you got to look at it as like, all right, it's a sign of life.
Yeah. It's funny. I would have put, if I was talking to Ti before. I gave him the ideas. I would have put Ruby in the outfield.
Yeah.
Ruby's a good outfielder.
Yeah.
Cheetos, I maybe even would have considered at third and put on Nathan at second because Cheetos has played third, but definitely at first he can handle. Hollywood, whatever. I don't know. It's still a weird team to me. I don't know.
Edmund Beta is awesome. So it depends how hot he gets, and in the night league and also in Brooklyn, he only gets better during the playoffs. So
he's not just awesome; he's a competitor.
Yeah.
You see it. You could see it. That's got to be the difference. There's some games where he must be taking over.
He's taking over.
By the way, I haven't been at a lot of their games because every time I look at the app, they're either blowing out or getting blown out. They don't have any close games, that team. That's why I'm never there. I mean, I look at the thing, 10-3, they're up. Or they lose 7-0. So I'm never there. I try to go to the close games, which is why I was at your game.
Always at my games,
oh
unfortunately.
My God. Your games are always close. You got to win a close game.
I got to win a close game. I don't know. I have no more fingernails left from everything I bit off.
Besides for opening day, you have a 3-2 loss to Beast Mode, an 8-7 loss to Shake and Bake, and a 5-4 loss to Shake and Bake.
Yep.
Your wins are 8-2 and 7-0, and then you got blown out twice, whatever. Okay. The biblical team that we were just talking about, they split with the Hipsters. What is up with this team? I thought they should be 6-2 by now. They're only 4-4. They have a sick lineup. They have a great pitcher, and they can't sweep ever. Split.
I think it's a defense.
Where?
Infield.
Okay, let's go through it. Who's their infield defense? They have Sal Fowlis at short center.
Okay, he's very solid. Ali at shortstop.
Okay.
Their second baseman is Pichotto, right?
Yes.
Third
base is Nate Patesh.
Okay.
First base is Edmund, but he's been injured, so
Benny
bench
Ritchie,
stuff.
yeah. I think the middle of the infield's not the best, but it's still above average. However, there's not really that one guy who's amazing right there.
I guess Ali at short at this point, you're saying, is not an amazing shortstop.
He's not. He plays very deep in the hole.
Yeah.
And for someone who's a lot faster, we saw last week Jack Barnathan ended up legging out a single and ended up having a guy score.
Mm-hmm.
That's a guy that you got to play 8 feet in.
Yeah, you got to play
You can't play a guy like that on the dirt. And Ali, I know you got new hips. Love him. Love playing tennis with him. But still not the most mobile guy at 40-something years old, maybe even 50. I don't even know how old he is.
I don't know either. I think he's ageless. I'm not sure the
He's the ageless
number.
wonder. So
he's got to be 50. He's got to be. Yeah, I think. I don't know.
So yeah, and then Sal's very good. Sal's crazy athlete, also making every play, but
not great.
Not the best. He's very good, above average.
Mm-hmm.
And Pichotto, above average, but there's not that one star in the middle of your infield that's bringing it all together. I know Ali is the greatest player in YMSL, him and Jacobati, but
I'm just surprised it's not good enough with Farka, Abe J, and Nate Cush in the outfield. Okay, with those three guys and the infield being fair, and Mo Gindi at catcher and Eddie Harari on the bump.
Yep.
With that lineup, and I'm not saying it's the best defense. Let's say it's fair, whatever, average. I can't believe they couldn't pick up a sweep all year this year. I'm very, very surprised. And it doesn't matter. They're fine. They're 4-4. But it just has me concerned about that team, that there's something missing. And maybe you nailed it. Maybe that's what it is.
They probably would have swept last week if Eddie Harari showed up to both games. But, you know.
They would have. Shake and Bake was not good that day. No one is good all 7 weeks. Shake and Bake was bad that day, and they got a gift that Eddie Harari did not show up.
They're only good when they play the Black Sox.
That's it. Oh yeah, they were great that day. I mean, they showed up.
Only one.
I mean, what do you think of Tuna? Tuna pitched well. No,
he did. He pitched actually very well.
He didn't really walk anybody.
No, I think he had, like Zach said, 3 walks, but 2 of them were intentional, 1 to me.
Right.
Pitched very well.
I didn't like that intentional walk. By the way.
Said the same thing to Zach. I'm like, really? I was shocked.
I mean, I didn't even realize on the app. I didn't like it when first base was open. Then when I found out second base was open.
It was first and third, putting the tying run
at second
in scoring position, and then putting the winning run at first base, me with the speed. I told Zach I was walking to first. I'm like, really? I'm shocked. And then that's when I turned to Ruby Shalou and told him, like, I hope you understand what they did. They put
I loved it.
The tying run at second base in scoring position, and they put the winning run at first. This is what
they think of you. This is what they think of you. I love the intensity. I need your team to stay together. I can't have Raw and you fighting.
Yeah.
I can't have people pointing fingers. You got to come together because there's some really good guys on this team. I looked at your draft. I did the whiteboard. I like this team. There's no reason.
I still like
this
it.
is a 2-6 team. Who are you playing this week? You're playing the Hipsters. They're not perfect either, but they're definitely saying to themselves, this is the week we finally sweep and we make a move for the bye.
No problem.
You know?
But
They're definitely saying that.
I'm so happy about that because you know what?
What?
The pressure's on them.
The pressure is on them.
They can't lose to a 2-6 team. You heard that, Ali? You heard that, Farka? You can't lose to a 2-6 team. If you lose to a 2-6 team, that's all everyone's going to talk about. So the pressure's on you guys. We're playing with house money. Get ready.
You're only batting 3 innings because your bottom 5 is as pathetic of batting averages I've ever seen.
Switching up the lineup a little also to lengthen it out a little.
I guess you need to.
Yeah.
You got no choice. You got to take one of those guys from the bottom, throw them somewhere and roll the dice and hope just to do something. I don't even know what to suggest to you. You'll figure it out.
I'm putting Jake in the leadoff spot, and I'm going to change everything else.
Jake in the leadoff. Are you batting 2?
No, I'm still going to bat 3.
You're batting 3. Maybe Henry 2 or Shalou 2?
No, I'm going
to
put Bub 2, yeah.
Okay, so Jake, Bub, then you. Okay, that's not such a big change. You're only changing 1 and 2
But it's a big change because if you notice over the last couple of games, big situations, Bub gets the lead off, and then either, I don't know, Jake went 5 for 7 last week, but he had a couple of double plays. So because the way that Jake hits hard, but sometimes they're right at guy. So if he's the guy leading off, it could be an error. But if there's a guy on base, quick, 6-4-3 double play or something like that. So
if I'm a player on Chicago, I'm saying, dude, whatever you do is fine. We're 2-6, so whatever we were doing is not working. So whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
I don't care if you pick the lineup out of a hat. I don't care what you do, but whatever you do, we're good with because we are 2-6, but we have talent to do something.
Yeah.
Okay. What about Moshiach? What is up with them? 4 and 4, but all sweeps.
All sweeps.
Are they bipolar? Do they or are they just beating up on bad teams? What's up with them?
Very tough to say because against the Black Sox team, they looked like one of the greatest YMSL teams. I remember going to the parking lot after and everyone saying, wow, how did they get this team? This team's amazing. 13-1, 14-0, 12-2. Right now, 3 weeks later, they're standing at 4-4. So it's very tough to gauge where they're standing. Max Deed on the mound. Him and Nate B are in a league of their own. They got Buka. Buka's finally waking up. Elliot Sacco was awesome week 1. Couldn't buy a hit week 2 and week 3. Juber, same thing, week 1 awesome. Week 2 and 3 couldn't buy a hit. Now week 4 took off. So it really predicates on 3 players on that team. I really think it's Max Deed, Buka, Elliot Sacco. If those guys play top tier softball, not only are they in it, but I think they're one of the favorites to win.
Elsack since week 1 hasn't really done much. Not sure what he did this week, but weeks 2 and 3 when they were on the 4-game losing streak, he was flying out every time. Wasn't happy with him. Joe Eshko, very quietly, amid all the defensive murmurs, is having a phenomenal offensive year.
Yes.
So he's hitting great. I'm shocked they didn't trade for somebody at the trading deadline, just because Mo Haber likes making moves every second. He did shift his infield around.
The trades he was offering wasn't offers from a 2-4 team. It was like a 6-0 team trying to rip off. So it was like, all right, it doesn't really make sense. You're the one that needs the trade more than I do.
I forgot what they were, but I heard some of the offers, and I mean, it was obviously not real offers.
Yeah.
Beast Mode has their injury issues. They got to make some replacements. If Stephen Gindy's not coming, they got to replace him.
Yeah. If
Ralph Hannon can't pick up his arm at 3 and 5, you sort of got to replace him. Maybe you could miss a week. Maybe a week. That's up to you guys, but at some point you got to do something.
Who are they going to replace Stephen Gindy with? I can't even think of one person to see.
Unless they could convince one of these guys to come back. Unless you could call John or call Mark or call Mo Shama, one of these guys.
That's a fair replacement.
You think they're what, better than him?
Yeah, just a little.
Okay, I mean, look at Joe G coming out firing.
I played with Stephen Gindy in Brooklyn. Stephen Gindy in Brooklyn, awesome.
Right.
He's not Stephen Gindy in Brooklyn anymore.
Right.
It's 6 years later, 7 years later. He doesn't have that much power. Defensively, he's like Zach. On par, awesome. Really awesome. Offensively, great leadoff hitter, but looks to walk a little bit more.
I don't think anyone's Zach except what Mo Shama was, to tell you the truth, because even week 1, Stephen Gindi, I know it was week 1.
Yeah.
He made a bunch of errors. I've never seen Zach totally do that. Everyone makes errors. I
Yeah.
thought T.I. said the most ridiculous thing ever when he said, I'm making 2 errors this whole season. I mean, the reason I called him out, I never call people out for errors, really. The reason I called him out is because it was so ridiculous what he said. That's not possible, you know? Our fields, look at the field right now. The ball could bounce anywhere off your chest. No one's making 2 errors on the infield
I've already
this year.
made more than 2 errors in 3 weeks in the infield. Yeah.
It's ridiculous. But I've never seen Zach have a week where all of a sudden he just makes 6 or 7 errors and he has that breakdown. Where I've seen that with great shortstops over the years. Now, Moshe Hammer told me, I said this before, he said the difference at shortstop from the outfield, because you moved in from the outfield to the infield, is you could go the whole year in the outfield and never make an error, and I'm sure you've done that. I'm sure you've gone 3 years without making an error. On the infield, you can't go 2-3 weeks without making an error, and you need to be able to say, that play's over, give me the next one.
Yeah.
And it's easier said than done. Zach is able to do it. Of course Zach has made errors, but he's never allowed it to balloon to 2 or 3 or 4 errors. So I really think today he's alone. Moshe Hammer's the only other guy I could see that's with him. I haven't that play he made against you guys.
It was insane.
Holy cow! Really.
Sports Center top 10. It was crazy.
It's insane. Okay, fine. Going onward. That play is part of why he was Player of the Week. Mickey Towell got screwed. 6 for 7.
Insane.
His 1 out was to the red fence on
saw that, a bomb.
Oh my God. Brew Crew. Big loss of Nanu, but I got a good report from him late last night that he thinks he'll be back in another week or 2. What do you think?
I can't see it happening. All right, so here's my perspective. I was on the phone with Abe Haber a couple days ago. So this is Nathan Zolt's a very tough guy.
Yes.
He's been injured before.
Yes.
He's tore his ACLs before. So he knows what it feels like to be really injured. Couldn't get up off the dirt. Went to the hospital the same day. So you're not going to the hospital if you think it's not something serious. Because if you tear an ACL, God forbid, you tear your knee, you hurt your ankle, you're not really going to the hospital right away. You're going to go call up your orthopedist. You're going to go book an appointment a day or 2 later. Him going to the hospital told me it's a big deal. And secondly, it's your quad. It's worse than your knee. Tearing your quad, that's a big time injury. Even pulling your quad, big time injury. That's a couple month injury. Any soft tissue injury near your quad is, I'm not a doctor. You can ask Dr.
You sound like a doctor.
You can ask Dr. Mikey Miz, but I've been injured a lot of my life. I know, the difference in injuries, but a torn quad, it's a big deal. It's a very big deal. I hope he hasn't torn his quad because that's surgery, but even a pulled quad, it's not a 1-2 week injury. And it sucks because he was hands down MVP this year, 19 ribbies, 609 average, 1,000 slugging, 19 ribbies. I don't think I have 19 ribbies in my career.
I gotta
this guy has it in 1 season.
For a few years, he's been trying to not play. Very few people do I go out of my way and say I called him. And this happened 2-3 years in a row because he said, I suck now. I don't get doubles or anything anymore.
Crazy.
I go, Nanu, because I remember Nanu like on the Lumber Kings. I think he was on that team. I remember when he was an awesome hitter just 3-4 years ago. I said, Nanu, you're awesome. You just got to put it all together again. Let's go. Let's do it. So I convinced him the last couple of years to play, including this year. And now he just took off this year. This is the old Nanu. Last couple of years, we were playing 4 outfielders against him. Everybody was. Because he can't possibly get a double. Look at this year, doubles, triples, because he's driving the ball and he's still getting it in the gap in between 4 outfielders. Leads the league in ribbies. He could miss this week and still lead the league in ribbies. Leads the league in batting average. And one of the best guys. I mean, did you see the video of his son when the kid's on the floor? Oh my God. I was loving that. So I really hope you're wrong in that regard.
I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. I don't wish anybody to be injured. It's just, I've been around the block. I've seen people being injured, football, this, tennis, whatever. It doesn't matter. But quad is a big deal. It's not like it's a pulled hammy where you could be a Sammy Towel or you could be a Cheeto and you could deal with it at first base. Right. A quad, you can't put any weight on your foot. It's down to your knee, down to your calf, all the way down to your ankle.
He said it right away. He said, I can't put any weight on it. He was sitting there with the leg out, and he said, I can't put any weight on it.
There's an interesting Instagram video of, I think, what's his name? Jim McMahon, the guy that's head of the WWE.
Yeah.
He was running into the what's it called? The ring. and he jumped up and tore both his quads, and he couldn't get up, and he's sitting there
Oh
like
my
this, and it's just
God.
like, so I really hope not. It's
Right.
just based off of everything that he went to the hospital, even though he's been injured before, tore his ACLs, he knows what it feels like. So that's really what got me a little worried about
He
him.
did go to the hospital, but he opted now not to go for an MRI
which I
because he's
think
feeling
is,
much
which I
better.
think is crazy.
Right, you think he's just go in the tube and see what we're dealing
You're
with.
gonna feel better after 2 days. It's gonna happen, but then after 2 days, it's just gonna plateau. And I really, really hope it's not like that. But for the Brew Crew's sake, I'm not really as high on them as you are, even though they're 7-1.
You know
I'm
what?
crazy, but
You know what? I took a deeper look at the Brew Crew. They've played a very soft schedule so far.
and every single guy on their team is peaking, like a Leon Harari, guys making a diving play in the hole.
Nice play, Leon.
What? Diving play in the hole of second base. So it's really giving me some of that like swimming vibes in the beginning of the year when you're having Leon Harari leading the league in average, like a Mickey
Remember
Towell.
that? Yeah.
Mickey Towell, real hitter, athlete. I know him my whole life.
What a
but
pick for Dano.
Really great pick, but I can't see him still batting 500, 600 towards the end of the season. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. He's really hitting bombs. But you're having DK. Guy's a 300 hitter. He's my second cousin, 350 hitter. Everyone eventually plays to the back
They
of their
usually
card.
do, unless they really got better. So
Yes.
you're right. DK this week did not have a great offensive week. He started to come down to
He's
earth.
what is he, 36, 37? I can't expect him to be getting better at 36, 37. Mickey Towell, different story. We've never seen him.
Right.
Maybe he's really that type of player, but I'm talking about like even a Gabe. Gabe's playing. I played with him the last 2 years on TLM, Get Back. Last 2 years.
Mhm.
Where was this the last 2 years, Gabe? Batting 550, hitting ropes.
Is he batting 550?
Batting
Gabe?
like 500, something
Wow,
like that. Yeah.
wow, that's great for
I
Gabe.
think he's like 13 for 26 or 12 for 25, something
Wow,
like that.
wow, that's great.
So either 500 or right below 500.
He's also walking a ton. Every time I'm there, I'm videoing. He's walking.
with Jimmy right behind him, which is crazy.
I mean, you can't walk Gabe with Jimmy right behind you, but that's why I said it on the whiteboard show, which, by the way, we were on fire that day. Said it on the whiteboard show. This guy is going to have his best year ever with Jimmy and Nanu behind him. Who could not have their best year ever with that? But now he loses Nanu. Abe Haber finally emerged from the dead. I don't know where he's been or what his story
Still
is.
on his honeymoon.
My God, get off the honeymoon already, dude. You got to show up.
I ripped it.
It's YMSL season. He lives for this.
He lives for this. He's one of the few guys in the whole league that talk about YMSL 12 months, 365 days out of the year. Him, his father, it's all they do. They talk about YMSL. He's a diehard.
Diehard.
And he's putting the work in. It's not like he's not putting the work in. He works in Jersey. He works in his father's warehouse, and then he has to run to the house for 20 minutes to pick something up for his mom, Esther Haber.
Mhm.
He'll put balls on the tee, and he'll start hitting for 20, 25
Great.
minutes. He'll do work. So it's not like he's not doing the work. So guys like that, it's going to turn around. I'm confident in him. I've played with him. I've won a World Series with him.
He's I'm not worried about him at all, and I
Yeah.
loved what I saw from him this week.
Yeah.
But now he becomes the guy after Jimbo.
Mhm.
That lineup, Dano's batting. The lineup becomes a little bit different. I think they've had a soft schedule.
Yeah.
I think they play Shake and Bake this week without an AB. Shake and Bake already accomplished what they needed to do
Yeah.
because of your games. They've replaced AB pitcher with Tuna, where Nanu this week for sure won't be replaced,
Yeah.
I assume. So I think Brew Crew is going to come down to earth a little bit this week. Not that we're going to do predictions now, Joji,
Yeah.
but I hear you. I'm not so high on them. I do love their vibe, and I love what Dano's doing over there.
Dano's the best captain I've ever played for.
Yeah, he's
Dano
great.
is number one. Mocas is number two. But Dano, what he did for us on TLM, the vibe, the videos that he sends in the chat, his hecky, it's amazing.
The voice notes
The
that
voice
he sends.
notes, but it's the videos. He has his wife recording the video. Takes a 4.5-minute video. Awesome. I used to look forward to that. So Dano can make a 150 guy bat 450 because of just his vibe. He's just amazing.
Yes.
I have so many words to say for Dano, but we don't have enough time for that.
Yes, and we wish him good luck. His
Yes.
wife should be having a baby any day now,
Brooke.
possibly today even, so we'll see how that goes. Beast Mode, another guy that just had a baby, is Hank DeWeck.
My
We
Brooke.
tested his bat, it's kosher. Tested Uri Adler's bat, it's kosher. Tested Jake Yogi's bat. I don't know why. The guy hasn't hit a ball more than 4 feet this year, yet he's batting 500. The guy's the luckiest hitter in the YMSL this year.
Season.
Jake Yogi Cassin. Holy cow. Last year he was rocking the ball. This year he's not,
Whoops.
and he's still batting 500. So if he can figure it out now, he'll bat maybe 600.
Yeah. I think Uri Adler actually changed his bat for this week, by the way. That's what I heard.
Oh, really? Okay.
That's what I heard. He didn't bring his bat that he was using the other few weeks.
Okay.
That's speculations. I wasn't there, so I don't know, but that's what I heard.
We can neither confirm nor deny.
Yes.
All we can do is test the bats that we see.
Correct.
And like I said, we don't want to have any issues with anybody. We just want to make sure it's safe and
It's
clean
safe.
for
It's
everybody.
all about safety, exactly.
Okay, Joe G.
Yes.
Final words. I think you've said it all. You've called out your team a little bit, but you've also trying to rope them in. Come together, Chicago, and win a game or two and see if you can make a run now, because you have the talent, in my opinion. Do you want to add anything?
Yes, I would love to add something. So, like you said, you hit it right on the head. We have the talent. If you put me back 3 months ago, I would still draft the same team. You could call me crazy. That's how much I believe in you guys. We all want to play meaningful ball in July. We want to be in front of the 500-600 guys on a Friday. Game 3, Game 4, Game 5, we want to have that opportunity. We won't have that opportunity if we just sit and just lay down and die. Guys, you have to play meaningful ball. We have to play smart ball, and you guys got to, rally around me, get behind me, and I promise you, we're going to do great things because, like I said, Farka, ABJ, Ali, pressure's on you. You guys don't want to lose to a 2-6 team.
I like it.
That's all you're going to be thinking about, because you guys are going to be the laugh of the town when you guys get swept.
Oh my God.
To a 2-6 team.
If
Farka.
you were to sweep them, it would shake up this league. And it's not impossible. They're 4-4.
I've seen crazier things happen.
I mean, if you pick the names in an open draft between the two teams, the teams will probably be pretty similar. You guys just gotta perform.
Yeah.
You just gotta show up and perform. I like the message. I like that you're trying to put all the pressure on them, because the pressure's really also on you. You can't go 2-8 either. So the pressure's on both teams. I like what you're doing though, and I think we've said it all, Joe G. I got nothing else for you, to tell you the truth. So good luck the rest of the way. I think the standings are very much in your favor, and if you make the moves and you and Raw get along and people stop calling each other out in Chicago, I think your team can get it together.
Hopefully.
So good luck, Joe G.
Thank you.
And thank you for pouring it all out for us.
Thank you, NRJ.
Back after this, happy Shavuot to everybody. Short media week, but we got everything in. And we'll see you Sunday morning. Beautiful weather again.
Thank you so much.
It means no worries.